Coming up on Fulton Today, Fulton kicks off its series of transit meetings to hear from residents. We'll have the story. Fulton solicitor offers help to those with a criminal record. We'll explain. Also, what does it take to evaluate the Fulton County Jail in the case of an emergency? Well, that and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. Those with a prior arrest without a conviction could be looking at a new slate on life this year. That's because the Fulton County Solicitor General is hosting the Labor and Government Restorative Justice Freedom Summit, where people can get a fresh start. Keith Gamage is Fulton County's Solicitor General. Sir, welcome to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
So explain to everyone just what this summit is.
So on January the 27th of this year, we are planning a huge Freedom Summit where we partner with organized labor, other community organizations, and civic and business leadership to host a Freedom Summit where individuals who've had a blemish in their criminal history have an opportunity to have misdemeanor records cleaned and restricted to better help them seek housing opportunities and renewed opportunities for employment.
And talk about the requirements needed for someone to participate in this kind of a program.
Yes, the incident leading to the arrest must have occurred in Fulton County. It must be a misdemeanor. And the overwhelming majority of opportunity is for folks whose arrest did not result in a conviction. There are some exceptions, but what we found is that in Fulton County, there are a lot of cases where individuals were arrested and those arrests harmed their record, even though they did not result in a conviction. And those are folks that we particularly can be of assistance to.
And I understand employment assistance and free legal consultations will also be available at this summit?
So as we're in the month of Dr. King's birthday, we're looking to assist our citizens, and particularly those who are indigent and who've had difficulty finding success. And so part of it is to help folks get their records cleaned such that they're more employable, but also to register voters so that they can get the full benefit of American citizenship, and then to bring in employers who might give a second look, and in fact, who are willing to give a second look to those who might have a misstep in their history, but are still good, solid citizens looking to improve their lives.
And finally, Solicitor, just talk to everybody about the importance of this kind of a summit.
You know, I think traditionally, folks who have made a misstep, some who have a nonviolent criminal arrest or record that has been a barrier to success, traditionally they would have to go out and find the funds to hire counsel. One of the things I want to make sure that we're doing is bringing justice to everyone, that we're leaving the traditional role of prosecution and going more globally and more broadly, working with our community partners, faith leaders, and other stakeholders to make sure we make access to justice available and easier for all, and especially for those who are indigent and in poverty.
Keith Gamage, Fulton County Solicitor General, great to have you on the program, sir. Thanks so much for your time.
And again, thank you for having me.
Now, the Labor and Restorative Justice Freedom Summit takes place Saturday, January 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the IBEW building. You can avoid long lines by pre-registering by January 20th. For more information and registration details, you can log on to fultonrestorativejustice.org. Fulton leaders seek your input in moving the county forward. During the December mayor's meeting, the main focus was the county's transit master plan. Well, it was determined that county and city leaders would ask citizens this month for their input on one of 5 transit options.
Well, citizens can tell us a lot more than you might think, as they know the area. A lot of times citizens are coming from other parts of the country. They've seen transit from a different perspective maybe than a Georgian would.
Now, here are the possibilities presented during that first meeting. Only one of the 5 options features heavy and light rail, 2 versions of rapid transit and local services. The remaining 4 options include either a 1/4 of a cent or 1/2 cent transit sales tax with a limited transportation option, all over a 40-year period. Residents who attended the first of 4 transit master plan open houses felt it was important to make their voices heard.
I see this transit as something that's going to happen a lot faster than is projected, and it's going to be the affordable option to get about for a lot of people.
I am no longer able to drive and have lost my independence due to a brain tumor. It gave me hope to know that people, whether it's just from a traffic standpoint or for someone in my situation, that the city and the county are looking into the long-term solutions that would help everyone.
After this week, there are 2 more open houses planned before the commissioners and mayors meet again on January 29th. One will take place on January 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Atlanta Marriott in Alpharetta. The next one takes place January 24th from 6:30 to 8:30 at College Park's City Hall. And of course, for more information, you can just log on to fultoncountyga.gov/TMP-home. The Fulton County Sheriff invites FGTV cameras to witness the massive evacuation drill at the jail. And as you can imagine, it takes a lot of coordination to get thousands of people out of that Rice Street facility. FGTV's Felicia Church has the story.
It was a bright, clear, and quiet morning at the Fulton County Jail until this happened. That's the fire alarm you're hearing, but in this case, it was part of the mass evacuation drill conducted at the Rice Street facility. The exercise of mass evacuation drills is an important aspect of maintaining the accreditation of the jail. In this scenario, a fire broke out in one of the housing areas. After it was determined the fire could not be extinguished with normal resources, the evacuation process proceeded. While visitors and civilian employees were escorted to safe areas outside the hot zone, a small percentage of inmates were transported to another secure location. Removing the inmates from the housing zone to the transport area was going well until an unexpected event occurred.
The unexpected event was where we knocked out power on a floor while the inmates were being evacuated. And the reason why we did that was because we're looking at events that happen in the world. You have to always be prepared for the unexpected. And also a couple of weeks ago at the airport, we had almost a similar event where a fire can knock out power to an area, and we just wanted to make sure that our staff was ready to handle 2 emergencies at the same time.
Another part of the training included offering medical attention to those injured during the evacuation process. That's where the doctor and his staff play a vital role.
We received a call that an individual had been injured at the visiting trailer. We responded to the scene, assessed the patient, evaluated her injuries, and treated her, then subsequently prepared her for transportation up to the remote secure triage area where she was further assessed.
From the command center to out in the field, with so many moving parts involved, everyone was pleased with how the evacuation was planned and executed.
Overall, from what I heard on the radio, the drill went very well. Everybody executed the way we planned that they should execute when it comes to doing these type of drills.
The sheriff's office and jail staffers say they are prepared for any emergency, and it's their duty to protect the individuals they have in custody.
You never know when something is going to happen, and we need to be prepared at all times. This helps us with our preparedness, and it keeps our teams sharp at all times.
Reporting for FGTV, I'm Felicia Church.
And in other county news.
Moving on to the 2018 budget.
Fulton's finance officials give Fulton commissioners an overview of the proposed 2018 budget during their first meeting of the year. The Budget Commission is recommending the board to adopt a budget of $806 million, which is a $160 million reduction from the original proposed budget of $966 million. The proposed budget includes increases to the Elections Department, Senior Services, and the Justice Reinvestment Initiative, just to name a few.
We have completed our community engagement meetings. We've held our legally required public hearing.
By law, the budget must be approved by the end of the month. The board is expected to do so during next week's recess meeting. The public is invited to comment on the proposed spending plan. Homeowners in need of repair help get the assistance they need from Fulton's housing professionals. The county's Department of Community Development hosted a homeowner rehabilitation assistance workshop at the South and North Fulton County Service Centers.
The purpose of the program today is to engage the community and to make them aware of our renovation program. The work that we can do through our program can range from painting a house to completing a roof to doing electrical. It really varies, and the maximum dollar amount that we can provide to the program per homeowner is $50,000.
Low to moderate income homeowners were provided assistance to bring substandard single-family residential properties into compliance with federal regulations and county codes.
This is a vital dynamic to the community. I'm sure it's been going on for years, but it's very necessary, programs like this. I appreciate the resource.
I think this is an awesome program because when you're on a fixed income or your funds are limited and you have all these projects in your home that needs to be fixed or safety issues that needs to be fixed, it's good to know that some of your tax dollar money is coming back to you.
In addition to hosting the homeowner rehabilitation workshops, Fulton County hopes to increase its list of eligible general contractors and encourages local general contractors during a contractors workshop on February 16th. For more information on that, you can call 404-612-7193. And still to come on Fulton Today, commissioners strategize for the new year. It's all a part of our district by district coverage next. Fulton commissioners host a strategy retreat to prepare for this new year. Here's this week's district by district coverage.
This is our annual strategic planning retreat with the Board of Commissioners. It's really very important to get centered on what are our 6 priorities, and perhaps for the year, what are the initiatives that really enable those priorities. So the board in this session gives us kind of the unvarnished feedback. Do we have kind of the right initiatives? What else do they need to see with these initiatives to approve them moving forward? And have we missed anything? So it's a great, really relaxed environment for good dialogue. Again, we leave with I think a feeling of certainty about what they expect for the year. And then it really enables us to do big things.
What really has happened here is that the issues that the county manager has brought to our attention are the ones that I've been talking about. And what's foremost on the minds of our citizens right now, of course, is fixing the horrible situation that happened with the property tax appraisal process last year. So that's at the top of the agenda. We're moving aggressively to address that. We're also working with respect to making changes and improvements in the criminal justice system and enhancements with our senior citizen facilities and quality of life issues within the county.
This year we are targeting our assessment process, our elections process, and continuing work in our criminal justice area. So 3 very important topics to the community and to the public, and I think that we're on the right track in trying to deal with some of the serious issues that we've uncovered in the last few years as we move forward to improve our customer service, our transparency, and our processes.
These things are really the only opportunity each year where all commissioners can sit down in an informal way and talk about issues other than with motions and debates and things like that. So it's a very special time, and and time well spent.
I think the staff has talked to a lot of the commissioners individually, but we as commissioners have not gotten together as a group to hear what our other commissioners are thinking. And so it's a great opportunity to find out what other commissioners are thinking and to strategize together as a collective unit towards making sure that we reach our strategic priorities as outlined by the County Commission.
We believe that the activities in which the board is engaged during this season, preparation to vote on the budget, is one of the most important. Not so much because of the amount of money that's involved, but because of the impact our decisions will have upon people. The more information we receive, not only from our staff, but from external sources, and above all from the people of this county, ensure that the priorities that we establish and the services that we deliver will be those we are required to do by law.
Now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And when Fulton Today returns, reminding you that it's not too late to get the flu shot. We'll tell you where when we come back. Well, the flu has ramped up early this season and is spreading rapidly across the country. But the good news is Fulton County's health professionals have plenty of flu vaccine. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story.
When the excessive coughing begins, doctors say people should immediately consider that they could have the flu bug and then immediately take action. However, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommend getting a flu vaccine before the first symptom.
We are in a very, very tough flu season this year in Georgia. Georgia is one of the states that's been identified as having a major problem with flu out of all the states in the United States. And so it's still important to get it because the flu season can go as far as March.
Vaccine is now available on walk-in basis at Fulton County Board of Health locations. The CDC says flu activity most commonly peaks in the United States between December and February, although the duration and severity varies from season to season. Fulton's health professionals say it's not too late to get the vaccine.
Our supply is very good this year. The county supply is good. Doctors' offices have it. Pharmacies started getting it, like pharmacies around town, very early in, I think, August. So our supply is great.
Here's some of what the CDC lists as new for this season. Nasal spray vaccine is not recommended. Only injectable flu shots should be taken in the standard dose for most people ages 6 months and older. The high-dose booster shot is recommended for people 65 or older, and pregnant women may receive any licensed, recommended, and age-appropriate flu vaccine. Health professionals say when more people get the vaccine, fewer people are likely to get sick. And since this season is already proving to be an active one, Fulton is hoping to keep that activity from getting worse. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you, Priscilla. There's also good news to share about Fulton's behavioral health services. Fulton County government achieves behavioral health care accreditation from the Joint Commission. The department underwent a rigorous on-site survey, and among the areas examined were care, treatment and services, environment of care, infection control, emergency management, and on-site observations and interviews were conducted. Now, starting this year, the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities has 2 nationally accredited vendors rendering behavioral health services to patients.
Fulton County government, the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, as you currently know it, moving forward will manage and provide the oversight of the delivery of care. However, we will not actually deliver the care internally anymore. We will utilize our new vendors to provide those services.
Accredited organizations provide treatment and services within a variety of settings across the care continuum for individuals who have mental health, addiction, eating disorder, intellectual, developmental disability, and/or child welfare related needs. All right, it's the middle of January, and if one of your New Year's goals was to eat better, well, here is some help. Each Thursdays this month and next, you can learn how to make healthy meals in minutes. Over the next 6 weeks, the course will teach you how to prepare simple 15-minute one-dish meals. You'll also hear about food safety.
We're going to be talking more about how to cut down on sodium, how to cut down on saturated fat, trans fats, eating more vegetables, fruits, whole wheat. We're also going to be teaching how to food safety, because a lot of people don't understand that you can get salmonella even from home.
I'm trying to live as long as possible. That's the idea, my goal, So to do that, I have to just, confront the obvious, and that takes healthy eating, exercise, So I'm a senior citizen, so I want to see my grandkids grow up.
Meals in a Minute are held from noon until 2:30 at the East Point Branch Library. You can get more information by visiting afpls.org. And when Fulton Today returns, celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Stay with us. Arts and history come together to celebrate a civil rights icon.
Let's keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream alive, and let's love the world.
Children of all ages were invited to the Buckhead Library to take part in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday story time. The youngsters took part in interactive stories and crafts that highlighted Dr. King's life, voice, teachings, and his love for humanity.
The kids learned about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his awesome dream for our world. And I read the book, Love the World by Todd Parr. And so the kids learned that in order to love the world, we have to love each other.
Though this event is a celebration of Dr. King's life, this year marks the 50th anniversary of his passing. It's also the 35th anniversary of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, which was signed into law by President Reagan in November 1983. And finally, are you looking to increase your art intellect this new year? Fulton's Arts and Culture Department invites you to check out the Rhythm of Holes and Lumps exhibition. It is an exhibit featuring various wood carvings from local artist Ben Smith, whose appreciation of the hobby developed at a very early age of just 6 years old.
He tells a very compelling story. He said how he fell in love with carving wood was as a kid. His grandmother would ask him, after getting into mischief, his grandmother would ask him to go out in the yard and get a switch. So he made the correlation and say, over the years, after getting so many switches, he had an affinity for wood.
Each piece displays the artist's artistic style, which has been described as rustic, sensuously cool, and uniquely his own. Taking place at the South Fulton Arts Center until February 10th, it's a part of the department's Next Level Art Show. The exhibit is free and open to the public. For information, log on to fultonarts.org. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. And you can watch a replay of this show and any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.